Hare Krishna, good morning, my dear Prabhus, dear Matajis. Thank you for joining our morning japa session. Again, that is 5:30 in the morning up until 7 o'clock. You can log in and log out anytime. You can finish your rounds or you can chant with us the rest of the time. So yeah, finish actually yung 16 rounds ko ng 1.5 hour. So good. And ang ganda ng title natin for today, ating Brush Back to the Academy Monk in the Middle podcast, that we are studying the Srimad Bhagavatam. Our title and the topic will be winning our first battle every day. That is to wake up before the sunrise. Kaya nakita nyo yung logo, that is Surya. If you're doing yoga, that's you're paying obeisances to Surya Dev or Surya Namaskar. That is Surya. Actually, si Surya, nakasakay siya sa chariot. Then, this is one-wheeled chariot. Yan yung umaandar. So, sa Vedic astrology, Vedic cosmology, you will see that. Ano talaga yung nature ni Sun. So, you know the drill. Before we enter sa realm ng ating Srimad Bhagavatam, Hare Krishna muna. Hello sa mga nasa-Zoom and nasa Facebook Live. We should always be in the right mood in a humble request. And let's pay obeisances to our spiritual teachers in the line of our parampara. So join me as we recite the invocation mantras. Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Priyashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamas Loke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Sarasvati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that it is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So we have two kinds of Bhagavatam, the book Bhagavatam and the person Bhagavatam. We should always worship the book Bhagavatam by always studying it, not just reading it regularly, and hearing ng mga classes and the recitation of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the person Bhagavatam, we should worship by rendering service. Person Bhagavatam is living their lives in accordance sa Srimad Bhagavatam classes and teachings and learnings. So that is our aim, to serve those two, and as well as live our lives in the wisdom ng Srimad Bhagavatam. Again, those who are, you won today's battle. Those who are in the fourth batch, or if you finish the meditation and yoga philosophy course, we just scratched the surface of the yoga philosophy. There is much more deeper study ng Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is like a graduate study ng yoga philosophy. So we are entering in that realm. There will be personalities, but don't worry if hindi nyo pa kilala. We will slowly get to know them kasi nasa first canto pa lang tayo ng scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually andyan. So, 44 volumes na ng ganito. Meron din mga malalaking version. I think that's 18 volumes. Tapos yun sa baba is the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So yes, we will get to know them. If you wish to really know the story, you can read the Mahabharata. Kung medyo na bibigatan kayo sa philosophy, yung Mahabharata, tuloy-tuloy na story yun. In application ng mga philosophy nila. Which is napakaganda. My brother's actually reading that every night. 1 chapter a night siya. Parang lagpas kalahati na siya. More than 1 month na siya nagbabasa. Napakaganda. Ang daming natutunan. So, previously, what happened was, si Vidura, I'll show na lang muna. I'll show something. Ito yung family tree. Yes. This is actually the family tree sa Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, ito yung family tree ng humanity. From Krishna. Ayan. Kailangan natin pagkasyahin kasi madami sila. Pero mag-zoom in tayo mamaya ko lang sa inyong characters natin. So, from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his first, the living entity here, the Supreme Engineer, Lord Brahma. And after Lord Brahma, andun yung mga Manus. Galing kay Lord Brahma yon. So, Krishna, tapos the 3 Vishnus, then Garbhodakasha Vishnu, then Lord Brahma, then the Manus. This Manu, kung makikita ninyo, from the right side, habang nag-discuss ng Srimad Bhagavatam, makikilala isa-isa yung Manu and yung mga descendant nila. So this first canto is just the connection nung end ng Mahabharata ng Bhagavad Gita. So nagsimula siya dito sa lower left. Then pag after na ito, tutuloy na yung scriptures from here. Devahuti and pabalik. So puntahan natin, i-zoom in natin si dito. Kung nasaan sila, Yudhisthira. So, sila Yudhisthira andito. Sila Krishna even. Yan. Santanu. Ito yung ancestor nila. So, by the way, andito si Krishna. Si Vasudeva saka si Kunti, magkapatid. Tapos si Kunti, nanay nila Arjuna. Asawa ni Pandu. Husband of Pandu. So, ito na. Si Dhritarashtra, si Pandu, saka si Vidura. Si Dhritarashtra yung panganay, pero ang naging emperor is si Pandu kasi bulag si Dhritarashtra. So, yung anak niya, may 100 sons siya. Si Duryodhana yung panganay, so 100 sons, sa isang daughter. Ang dami niya anak, diba? Tapos si Pandu, ito yung mga anak niya. Yudhisthira, this is the Pandavas. Yudhisthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadev. Tapos si Pariksit andito. Anak ni Arjuna kay Abhimanyu. Tapos anak ni Abhimanyu, si Pariksit. Asawa ni Abhimanyu, si Uttara, asawa ni Arjuna rito, ay si Subhadra, yung kapatid ni Krishna. Then Janamejay. Then from there, nahati na yung mga yung land ng Earth, hinati-hati na nila. Alam ko doon na galing yung mga continents. So, ito yung scenario. Si Vidura is a saintly person. Incarnation siya ni Yamaraj. So, yung natalo si Dhritarashtra and atong Duryodhana and other son, natalo sila sa war. Pinatay nga sila ng Pandavas. Pero si Dhritarashtra, naiwan pa rin sa kingdom, taking shelter kay Yudhisthira. And Vidura was there to wake him up. So, ayun yung scenario natin ngayon. So, continue reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto creation. If you have this hard copy na book na to, it is on the part 3. We are at text na ba tayo? Text number 24. There is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those whom you tried to kill by arson and poisoning. You also insulted one of their wives and usurped their kingdom and wealth. So if you know a little bit about the Mahabharat, si Yudhishthir Maharaj was in a dice game. It was supposedly a friendly dice game with yung mga cousins niya, sila Duryodhan. Pero sila Duryodhan, kasama yung tito nila na si Sakuni, devise a plan. And there was a big cheating na nangyari na yun. And become a big gamble na kailangan nalang talunin sila Yudhishthir, yung Pandavas. Mawala yung mga armory nila, yung weapons nila. Mawala rin yung even yung mga suot nilang mga jewelries. Tapos hanggang tinayan nila yung sarili nila, pati yung asawa nila. Kailangan sila dinaya sila ni Duryodhan and Sakuni. Si Yudhishthir have to follow. And there was a scenario where si Draupadi, yung asawa nila, kinuha nila Dushasan, yung kapatid ni Duryodhan, and was brought inside and in the middle ng hall. Then they wanted to remove yung sari ni Draupadi to get her naked in front of everyone. So andun si Dhritarashtra. He's actually allowing it. Kaya sinasabi dito ni Vidura, he also insulted one of their wives. Siya yung senior, even hindi siya yung mahawak ng sari, naghatak na yun, hindi siya nag-utos, pero hindi niya pinigilan, he allowed it. So, ayun yung responsibility ng mga seniors and leaders. If you allow this to happen, kahit hindi ikaw yung direktang gumawa nun, it is under your responsibility. At the same time, tried to kill by arson and poisoning. Yung anak niya si Duryodhan, ganun yung ginawa sa Pandavas. They even gumawa ng poison cake. Yung Kauravas, sila Duryodhan, pinakain kay Bhima. Si Bhima, grabe to kumain. Voracious eater talaga to. Yung kinakain ng kapatid niya, saka yung mga sadhus, kalahati nun sa kanya. Ganun siya kalakas kumain. Ganun din siya kalakas actually. Sobrang lakas ni Bhima. Then, trinay nila lasunan si Bhima. Pero sa sobrang lakas ni Bhima, hindi siya namatay. Of course, yes, they tried to burn them in the House of Lac. They tried a lot actually para mapatay yung Pandavas. Just for what? Para hindi na sila yung magmana nung pagiging emperor. All of this, nangyayari to habang ang nakaupo sa trono si Dhritarashtra. So, ultimately, he allowed it. So, this happened 5,000 years ago, Srila Prabhupada mentioned. But, at the present moment, there are a lot of Dhritarashtra. Minsan, sa loob ng bahay. And mas madalas sa mga politicians. If one leader is allowing this to happen, this is actually his responsibility. The person to blame is the leader. Ganon yung responsibility ng leader. Sabi nga nila, even madali yung ulan, malinong king. Ganon katindi yun. Because they have to please the demigods and all. Yes, this politician, just like Dhritarashtra, lahat sila ayaw bumaba sa position. Ugod-ugod na, hindi na makapaglakad. Hindi na makausap na maayos. Hindi na makapirma ng diretso. And this politician is still holding on. Hawak-hawak na lang yung trono nila. Either mamamatay sila in the position or they will be dragged sa mga tao or na cruel death. Ayun yung only way para maiwanan nila yon. Kasi they're too much attached. So much attached with the position. Just like this, dear Tarastra. Sobrang ano nga daw niya, weary ripened age. Diba? Overripe na siya. Diba? Bungi-bungi na siya, hindi na siya makarinig. Hirap na siya mag-digest. May problem na yung liver niya. Still, ayaw pa niya umalis sa position niya. And he is trying to live in the charity of those yung mga taong gusto niyang patayin before. So imagine yung shame no kailangan niyang harapin. Just for what? The comfort of being in a royal lifestyle. So again, si Vidura came there to wake Vidura. Wake up Vidura. Sorry, wake up Dhritarashtra. So yung usapan na waking up before the sunrise. Ang daming nagising dahil dun sa poster na yun. No? Na-challenge ba kayo? Sabi ni Milka, I won today's battle. Yeah. You snooze, you lose. Sabi nga. Text number 25. Despite your unwillingness to die and your desire to live, even at the cost of honor and prestige, your miserly body will certainly dwindle and deteriorate like an old garment. Tasya pitabade huyam, kripana siya, izniveshoho. Kripana is miser. Very greedy. Diba? Hoarder. Diba? Sobrang close. Kumbaga, yung mentality nila is parang lagi mauubusan. Miser. And sabi ni Vidura dito, even na unwilling ka na mamatay and yung desire mo sobrang grabe to live, to continue living, wala kang magagawa. That is certain, old age is there, and you will deteriorate like an old garment. One is called the Kripana, and the other is called the Brahmana. Two classes of men, Kripana and Brahmana. The Kripana, or miserly man, ang estimation nila sa body nila, they want to be just enjoying. Ang gusto lang nila gawin, sense gratification, hanggang mamatay sila, hanggang dulo. Diba? Hanggang yung last breath nila, gusto lang nag-enjoy lang sila, sense gratification. Just living like an animal lifestyle. Eating, mating, defending, sleeping. Kahit last stage na ng buhay nila. Although the Brahmana, thinking nila, they have the true estimation ng self nila and the material body. They know what will happen. And ang role ng mga Brahmana is to wake up, open the eyes of these Kripanas. Brahmana and Kripana, the miser and the saintly person. The Brahmana always wants to open the eyes of the Kripana. Sabi ni Vidura, since death is inevitable, why should he accept such humiliating position for living? Sabi nga, dishonor is worse than that. It was even mentioned by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Because human life is meant for finishing all kinds of miseries of material existence. And that is actually the purpose of having this human body. Not just to enjoy and be merry. For what? Paulit-ulit na lifestyle lang. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The animalistic lifestyle. No, this is not the purpose of human life. If you want to do that, magagawa mo palagi yun in an animal body. But having this human form, ang purpose niya is to finish this miserable life. This cycle of birth and death. And to have that regulation. Kaya sobrang importante yung sabi nga nila in the Ayurveda, if one have hindi regulated na sleep saka na eating, sabi mo na 8 hours yun, pero hindi regulated. Sabi mo na kumakain siya na 3 times a day, pero hindi regulated. That will be the cause of sickness and disease. Bagu-baguhin mo yun araw-araw. Even yung sleep, ganun din. And sabi dito, si Dhritarashtra daw have his wrong perception and conception sa life. And 80% na ng buhay niya Ginugulang niya sa pagiging kripa na. And all throughout his life, si Vidura, yung kapatid niya, is trying to guide him. And kung kailan matanda na siya, parang doon pa lang siya makikinig. Madalas kasi ganun, di ba? You will take care of the body. Makikita mo sa umaga may mga nag-jogging na, alam mo yun, na-stroke na siya. Tapos doon pa lang siya nagsisimula mag-jogging. Doon pa lang siya magsisimula mag-workout. Kasi wala na siyang choice. Doon pa lang niya na-realize, hindi ko nalagaan yung body ko. Yung lifestyle ko ganito. Kailangan pa niya mag-suffer. May mga tao na ganun. And may mga worse na may mga tao, kahit andun sila sa stage na yun, hindi pa sila nagigising. Continue pa rin yung ginagawa nila. Ilang beses na makulong yung politician. Foolish din yung mga tao, binoboto pa rin nila. Tapos lalagay pa nila sa position. Tapos alam mo yun, parang, ayun nga manloloko sa kayo nagpapaloko. These people are too much attached, and these people, the society, are too much gullible. Mabilis sila mauto. And yung mga tao na to, hindi nila ma-realize yung purpose in life. Hindi sila makatawid doon. Because they're thinking, nandun na sila sa comfort zone, they're thinking, and they're kripanas. They just want to be miser or just being greedy. That is the 3 gates of hell. We discussed that last Sunday. Anger, loss, and greed. And those who are very greedy, they're kripanas or miserly. Ayaw nila bitawan yung mga facilities. They don't know really the purpose of having this human body, human form of life. And those brahmanas, they know, and they're trying to share it to others. Only by good luck does such a miserly man meet a self-realized soul like Vidura, and by his instruction get rid of the nescience of material existence. We will only be saved by the association of these brahmanas, this saintly person. So if we have met this saintly person that's trying to wake us up, we should listen from their instructions, not listening to our mind. Because our mind will always say, ba't mo kailangan gawin niya Radha Charan? Sarap matulog, no? Sarap matulog literally and figuratively. Yung susunod ka lang sa dikta ng society. Kung anong uso, sabay ka lang. Text number 26. He is called undisturbed who goes to an unknown, remote place and freed from all obligations. Quits his material body when it has become useless. So si Vidura is describing kung ano yung instruction niya kay Dhritarashtra. Sabi niya, immediately leave here. Umalis ka na dito. Kasi you are being a kripana, miserly man. Pero those who will live, who will have the renounced life, magi-retire, kumbaga in our term, will be the dhira or undisturbed. Anong ginagawa nila? They go to remote places, walang obligations, walang nakakilala sa kanila, and hindi sila magkapaalam. Kumbaga parang overnight na change sa buhay natin. Siya kasi, sobrang grabing attachment. All throughout his life, si Vidura is trying to convince him. So the only way na lang is biglain. Alis ka na, immediately. Hindi mo na kailangan magpaalam kasi pag nagpaalam ka pa, they will cry. How will I live without you, Dhritarashtra? Yung attachment andun, malambot yung puso mo. So ang instruction sa kanya is to leave immediately. And he was describing that dhira is the meaning niya to undisturbed. And a perfect example na sinabi ni Sri Prabhupada dito sa purport, Narottam Das Thakur, a great devotee of and acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava sect, has sung, My Lord, I have simply wasted my life. Having obtained the human body, I have neglected to worship your lordship. And therefore, I have willingly drunk poison. Such a poetic prayer ni Narottam Das Thakur. Actually, yung perfect din na example ng dhira is si Narottam Das Thakur. And siya yung kumanta na itong very humble naman. And yes, human body is meant for cultivating knowledge of devotional service. Without doing this, even mapunta ka doon sa rurok or sa topmost ng success mo materially, anxieties, and miserable conditions will be there. Sabi nga nila, kaya daw ginawa yung sleeping pills kasi yung mga taong di makatulog is yung mga successful na tao. Materially. They don't know how to protect their wealth because lagi silang alerto. Even the relatives wants to take their wealth. And ito yung ina-advise ni Vidura kay Dhritarashtra to leave home without knowledge of friends and relatives and pumunta sa unknown destination. Alis ka talaga sa comfort zone. So, ayun yung greatest instruction ni Vidura. The last instruction niya actually. And hopefully, magkaroon siya ng association ng pure devotee. So ito, sabi ni Prabhupada, Dhritarashtra was lucky enough to have a brother whose very association was a source of liberation for his frustrated life. So yes, swerte siya kasi may kapatid siya na Vidura. If not, mamamatay lang siya nandun. Paulit-ulit lang. And very humiliating life. Text number 27. He is certainly a first-class man who awakens and understands, either by himself or from others, the falsity and misery of this material world, and thus leaves home and depends fully on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, residing within his heart. So may three classes na transcendentalists. The Dhira, sila yung mga nag-renounce, iniiwanan yung mga bahay responsibilities na on the right time. The number 2 is renounced order of life, those who are sannyas. Because of the false sentiment, may prostration then he will renounce. The third is sincere devotee of Krishna, who awakens God consciousness by hearing, saka chanting ng holy name, and by association ng devotees. Among these three, yung Dhira is one process para mapunta sa sannyas. Yung sannyas is ang process para maging devotee ka. Pero when one is a sincere devotee, even one is living in a household life, a family life, or having yung mga work or jobs or occupation, the swadharma, even he is not living in the forest or being renounced, so-called renounced, he is much more greater than these two. Kasi he is Krishna conscious already. Dhira is to forcefully remove oneself to the situation, yung mga attachment niya. Same thing din sa sannyas. He is renouncing. Much more greater siya sa Dhira. Pero much more greater sa sannyas is being a devotee of the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. Kasi may dalawang klaseng actually sannyas. There are those who are ekadanda sannyasi and tridandi sannyasi. Those who are mayavad sannyas, they will leave their homes, their responsibilities and all, para maging mayavad. And the line sila ni Sankaracharya, their main philosophy is, I am also God. I am part and parcel, so I'm God. I will be God. And ang batian nila, hindi Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Ang batian nila sa bawat isa is, Namo Narayana. I worship you as Narayan because I'm also Narayan. So in that flowery words ng Vedas na ikot-ikot ni Sankaracharya and naging mayavad sila. Ayun yung line nila. Ekdandi. One rod or stick. Ayun yung dala-dala nila palagi. Although Sankaracharya is also Lord Shiva, he purposely propagated this philosophy para mabalik sa Vedas unti-unti after ni Lord Buddha to remove people from the Vedas. Sankaracharya is trying to slowly bring back the people to the Vedas. But also Sankaracharya, even in his purport sa Bhagavad Gita, mentioned that the Supreme Person of Godhead, Narayan, is the supermost. Hindi siya katulad ng mga ordinary living entities. So, may hint siya. Then of course, paglabas nila Madhavacharya, of course, Lord Chaitanya, the full essence of Vedas and the practice of it is being propagated again. So Krishna arranged this, Lord Buddha, Sankaracharya, then Madhavacharya, Lord Chaitanya, to happen. Again, even one is not in this order of life. If one is being Krishna conscious, even living at home, he is better. He is actually the goal. Si Lord Chaitanya was, when he was traveling all around India, hindi naman siya nagka-travel, oh, magsanyas na kayo, sama kayo sa akin. May mga Brahman na pa nga na gusto sumama sa kanya pero he was instructing, you must stay in your place and practice Krishna consciousness. Kailangan mo lang mag-chant and involve others in chanting. And there's this one devotee, recent devotee, Kripamoya Prabhu, siya yung father ni Janavi Harrison. They traveled all around India and South India. And may mga places doon na yung mga ISKCON devotees hindi pa masyado nakapunta. But, nagulat sila, meron sila naririnig araw-araw na naghaharinam or nagpaparade, singing songs, chanting Krishna's name, using instruments. And they were trying to look in the history. Teka lang, wala pa pumunta ng ISKCON devotees dito or other Vaishnavas. Ngayon pa lang, tayo pa lang. And they talked to these people and hanggang pinasa sila ng pinasa dun sa eldest na buhay, yung ancestor nila na buhay at that present moment. And nalaman nila na it was Lord Chaitanya who instructed them to do this, na ginagawa nila for 500 years already. And sino yung devotee na nagsimula na yon? Yung Brahmana na nakamit kay Lord Chaitanya during that time. Ang sabi ni Lord Chaitanya, huwag ka sumama sa akin in my travel, you must stay in your place. Hanggang ngayon, ginagawa pa rin yung Sankirtan Harinam na yon. And yeah, nagulat na lang yung mga devotees, si Kripamoya Prabhu na, oh, ito yung nababasa natin sa Chaitanya Charitamrita. And it is still happening in that present moment. So same, it doesn't mean na one encounters a devotee na Bhagavad Gita and chanting, kailangan mo na mag-renounce ng buhay mo. Kailangan mo na pumunta sa temple, mag-shave ng head. No, not at all. Few, very rare and few percent lang yung kailangan gumawa nun. But Krishna is saying, Srila Prabhupada is saying, and even Lord Chaitanya is saying, you must do the rest of your duty. But be Krishna conscious. Just like Arjuna. Hindi mo kailangan tumakbo sa forest. You're a soldier. You're a Kshatriya. So you must fight. But be Krishna conscious. You are better even do sa mga naka-garb lang as a devotee, as a sannyas. But yung mind nila and consciousness nila is hindi kasama si Krishna. So the proportion of one's sincerity and purpose is much more important than just the outer garment. So yes, hindi natin kailangan maging katulad ni Vidura, Mahatma Vidura, pero we should all try to follow their footsteps, not imitate. Follow the footsteps. Just like the life of Lord Shiva, those Shivites and other followers or so-called followers, they're trying to imitate Lord Shiva, drinking the poison after nang i-turn nila yung ocean ng gods saka ng demigods saka ng demons. Kinukuha niya yung poison. So yung ibang Shivites, followers ni Shiva, or yung mga fan lang, they're thinking, si Shiva nga nainom ng poison eh. So tayo, mag-smoke tayo ng weed para intoxicated tayo. That's our liberation. That's our self-realization process. So hindi ganon. Hindi ganon yung process ng following the footsteps. That's only imitation. Following the footsteps is, Lord Shiva is a great devotee of Krishna. He is one of the greatest devotee ni Krishna. Very humble. Diba? Maraming nga nagagalit sa kanya. Even si Daksha, yung father-in-law niya. Pero hindi siya nagka-counter-curse. Hindi siya nagagalit. He's very humble. He's always meditating and chanting Krishna's name. May pastime pa nga na gusto niya makita si Krishna sa Brindavan. Pero si Mother Yashoda, out of love, hindi siya pinapasok. Pupunta mo yung may lala. Ito may tsura mo, nakakatakot ka. Baka umiyak yung anak ko si Krishna. So of course, Lord Shiva is always longing for darshan ni Krishna. Even si Shiva gusto pumunta doon sa Rasa dance, sa Rasa Lila. Di siya pinapasok ng gopis. Kasi hindi naman siya babae. Si Krishna yung ultimate purusha, enjoyer. So, si Shiva have to take a form ng babae para makasali sa rasa dance. He is a great devotee ni Krishna. So, if one wants to follow Lord Shiva, one have to follow yung footstep niya, how he is a great devotee ni Krishna. Diba? Or, kunin mo rin yung suffering ni Shiva. Diba? Saluhin mo yung Ganges water sa ulo mo. Galing sa um, coastal ocean. So, not just imitating. So, as we are trying to practice, we don't just wear neck beads or just suot lang natin yung chanting bag sa leeg natin or just be initiated by the name. We must follow. That's much more important. Follow the footsteps. Follow the instructions. Just like yung instructions ni Mahatma Vidura. Text number 28. Puntahan na natin yung please therefore leave for the north immediately without letting your relatives know. For soon that time will approach which will diminish the good qualities of man. This time, actually, yung Kali Yuga is starting. Actually, officially started. Kasi meron siyang, how do you call this, overlapping nung Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. Doon nangyari yung Mahabharat. Pero at the end of it, when Lord Krishna leave this material world, alam ni Vidura na nangyari yon. That's actually the official start ng Kali Yuga. Sabi ni Vidura kay Dhritarashtra, he must leave. Soon mamamatay ka na and everything will be degraded. Mahirapan ka palalo maging Krishna conscious. Text number 29. Thus Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the scion of family of Ajamida, firmly convinced by the introspective knowledge or prajna, broke at once the strong network of family affection by his resolute determination. Thus he immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation, as directed by his younger brother Vidura. So marami tayong connection, sobrang kapit na kapit tayo sa material na energy, sa attachment natin. Paano mabibreak lang to? Is by the association of devotees. By the association of devotees, just like Dhritarashtra, yung strong network sa family ties niya. Overnight, nagising siya. Si Vidura is trying to speak eloquently, pero the words itself is really painful. That's spiritual knowledge kasi ginigising tayo. Bakit masakit? Kasi kapit na kapit tayo dun sa attachment. We will suffer because we are too much attached. Pero sometimes, or most of the time, when we're in this situation, ang kailangan lang natin is the proper knowledge and philosophy coming from this great personalities, this person. Ajamida is the ancestor ni Maharaj Dhritarashtra. Yan, si Noemi kasi advanced reading din siya. So may copy rin siya nito. So if you want also the copy of this Srimad Bhagavatam, the actual book, let me know. May mga parating tayo very soon. And if you want a copy muna ng mga ebook sa website, let me know then. Or message nyo ako so I could add you sa group chat. So everyone will be updated. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is actually stressing the importance of association of person Bhagavata or great devotee, the sadhus. Because this book, Bhagavatam, and the person Bhagavatam will wake us up. We're like mini Dhritarashtra, very much attached sa mga family ties natin, sa occupation, and all. Yes, you don't have to disrespect your family. You don't have to leave your responsibilities and duties. But you have to be detached. And also yung duties na yun habang ginagawa mo, much more pa dapat. In Pune Temple, when we stay there, bawal ka mag-temple devotee, mag-monk, kapag hindi mo pa nagampanan yung pagiging son sa family mo. Kailangan well-situated sila. Magtrabaho ka. Kailangan pagtrabahuhan. Bigyan mo sila ng ipon before kayo allow pumunta sa temple life. Because it will be a disturbance. And that's a big chance yung buong family maging devotee din. And then when they're visiting their son doon sa temple, the parents are so happy. We were there, nakikita namin every afternoon yung mga parents nila. Pupunta doon. Tapos nag-volunteer sila, they're making garlands for Krishna. Then katahi sila ng mga flowers. Tapos nakikita nila yung mga anak nila giving classes. Tapos may mga thousands of students listening to their son. And sobrang tuwa nila, sabi nila, before I have a dream for you to become an engineer. Yes, you have a PhD na maging engineer. Pero alam ko hindi ka gano'n ka magiging masaya if mag-work lang sa corporate world. You being inclined sa spiritual life. And now I'm much more happy. Ayun yung mga statement ng parents. I'm much more happy seeing you. Even mukhang walang material na bagay na pagmamayari, but having the wealth of spiritual life. So, na-witness namin yon, and nakakatawa, nakita namin yung mga monk. Pag nakita yung mga parents nila, hindi lang sila nag-hi hello. Nag-bow down yung mga monk doon sa parents. Very respectful. So yes, the association of Vaishnavas, sobrang importante. And having this relatives ng mga devotees is also very important. So if may mga relative kayong devotees, or pag may relative kayong kontra, sabihin nyo, dapat nga matuwa kayo kasi may kamag-anak kang nag-try maging devotee. Of course, hindi magigets yun. Pero, them having a chance to hear the holy name ni Krishna, them having a chance na maka-honor ng prasadam, is a big benefit for them. So, ito puntahan natin. Sobrang ganda ng mga next verses. The gentle and chaste Gandhari, who was the daughter of King Subala of Kandara, followed her husband, seeing that he was going to Himalaya mountains, which are the delight of those who have accepted the staff of renounced order, like fighters who have accepted a great lashing from the enemy. The analogy of fighters, yung mga fighter, yung mga soldier talaga, kahit masugatan sila sa war, gusto nila yun. And even this great personality, mas mahirap to be renounced. Ang daming austerities. Pero same siya as yung fighter na pupunta sa war, kahit masaktan siya. Pero si Gandhari, yung asawa ni Dhritarashtra, is very chaste. Siya yung perfect example ng wife. A very beautiful lady. Pero she voluntarily and willingly covered her eyes kasi bulag yung asawa niya, being chaste. So, nag-blindfold siya all throughout yung married life nila. So, yes, si Dhritarashtra is going to the North Himalayas. And those who are going there are those who are practicing this Mayavad philosophy or Ekadandi Swamis. There was a description by Sri Prabhupada. Those who are going to Himalayas to meditate alone are those who are Mayavad. But those who are Tridandi, or the sannyasi in our line, the Goshi Anandis, or the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also known as the Vaishnavas, worshipper of Krishna, they go and meditate in Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, or Mayapur, because that's where the love of God is. Andun yung mga devotees ni Krishna. So there's a big difference between these two sannyasis. Going to Himalayas just to meditate alone, impersonalism or Mayavad, feeling nila magiging God sila. Small God. Kasi yung tao will just have to, makakapunta na sila sa 70+ percentage of qualities na meron si Krishna. Hindi sila lalagpas doon. So, in that stage of Brahma Buddha, nandun lang sila. Yung perfection nila. So, this devotees, the Tridandi, yung 3 dandi na stick, so nakatali yon. So, makikita niyo yung may hawak yung sannyasi. They are spending their lives in the pilgrimage sa Vrindavan, Puri, and Mayapur. Text number 31. Ito na. Yung anak niya, yung pamangkin ni Dhritarashtra, anak ni Pandu, si Maharaj Yudhishthir, siya yung emperor, and sila yung nanalo sa war, and siya yung next emperor. Maharaj Yudhishthir, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the Brahmanas. He then entered the palace to pay respects to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. So this great personality, Yudhishthir, may sobrang respect siya kay Dhritarashtra. Even alam niya na ang promotor ng mga suffering nilang buong pamilya is si Dhritarashtra. Still may respect pa rin siya. Then, ginawa niya yon, mag-offer siyang respect. Before niya, after niya gawin yung mga morning duties. He is the emperor, pero masipag siyang gumising ng maaga. He's a great soldier, and he knows ano yung importance ng waking up early, doing the morning duties. Praying, offering fire sacrifices to the sun god. So, if mahilig ka mag-Surya Namaskar, kailangan mo gawin talaga to early in the morning. Before the sunrise. When Surya perform his darshan, lumabas na siya, he offers obeisances. Hindi yung mauna pa siya magising sa'yo. Again, this is easier said than done. When I move inside the temple, actually nag-practice ako gawin to. 1 year bago ko pumunta sa temple, bago ako maging monk, I practice this. Sobrang hindi siya madali. Lalong-lalo na if we grew up na andyan yung technology, tapos baliktad yung it's cool na gumising ka ng tanghali tapos matulog ka ng umaga. So, baliktad. But originally, this is the custom. This is the lifestyle, the regulation of a yogi. Waking up before the sunrise, we call it Brahma Muhurta time. Then, praying, meditating early in the morning, offering fire sacrifices to the sun god, and obeisances. You pay obeisances sa mga teachers natin. What we're doing is paying our invocation mantras. That's part of it. And worshipping ng grains, cows, land, and gold to the Brahmanas. They give charity. Umaga pa lang ginagawa na nila to. Then they will pay respect sa mga elders nila. So, ganun ka-importante to rise early in the morning. This is your first battle every day. You can always set your alarm. The question is kung mag-snooze ka to perform this duty. Sabi nga ni, sino ba nagsabi na? May rapper nagsabi nun. Sabi niya, he always thought na staying up late is cool. But waking up early is the real boss. Kasi you're trying to control your senses. Lalo na yung sleep. Na kaya mo gumising. Alam na yung unang-una mong gagawin pagising? Take note, kailangan mo maligo. Usapan ligo na naman. Tapos papadala niyo ulit ako ng maraming sabon. But yes, number 1 na kailangan mong gawin, you bow down, pay obeisances, thank Krishna for another day. Then, take a shower. Sabi nga nila, the cold shower will wake you up. Pero fast lang, hindi mo kailangan mag 1 hour bath. Gawin mo na yun later. Pero perform a quick shower para you could perform your morning duties. Tulog pa yung mga tao nun. Kung may reklamo ka na wala kang chant, kasi ang daming disturbance, ang daming nangungulit sa'yo habang nagka-chant ka, maingay, diba? You have to wake up really early, perform that sadhana. It will be a big and a significant change if one is doing that early in the morning. Yung vibration sa paligid is very silent, and the mode of goodness is prominent in that time. And multiplied, if you, in the temple when we stayed in India, umaga-umaga pa lang, 3:00 pa lang, nakapila na yung mga monk sa CR. Tapos, kanya kasi lang ng mga player, mga lecturers for the Prabhupada, nagkakabisado ng mga verses, diba? Lahat ng mga yon nai-instill sa utak mo during that time, ay hindi basta-basta mawawala. That time, pag nandun ko, nakapila kami sa restroom, dun sa temple, sa Pune temple, lahat kami nagkakabisado ng mga verses. Tapos minsan magkakasabay kayo kasi magkatagpo yung mga nire-recite yung verses. Grabe yung vibration. Early in the morning. And naka-instill sa sila sa'yo. Then when you do chanting, much more focus, with great intention, less disturbance. Yung body mo rin, less disturbance. Then of course, when you attended the classes and serve the person Bhagavatam, it will be much more beneficial. Tapos pagdating mo ng oras mo, 8 o'clock, ang dami ko na nagawa. Diba? The rest will follow na. Much smoother. There is always a saying sa mga devotees. If one perform his sadhana, yung mga darating sa araw niya ng mga challenges and mga obstacles, iba niya harapan. If may mga troubles kang harapin sa araw, tapos wala kang sadhana in the morning, iba mo rin harapin yon. Talagang troublesome. Pero if you have invested 1 hour, 1.5 hour in the morning, mas maganda. And mas smooth yung araw mo. Much spiritualized or Krishna conscious. That's the power of morning duties. Sadhana. Yes. Hindi lahat kaya yon kasi may mga graveyard shift, may mga alagang bata, kailangan magpuyat, and all. Diba? So maraming factors. Ideally, ito, the morning duties. We should try hard para ma-reach natin yon. Ma-arrange yung araw natin na mag-schedule tayo in the morning. Solve na yon. Sabi nga, if you don't finish your rounds before tanghali or even before 10 o'clock, the rest, you will chant the whole day. Ang hirap magtapos ng rounds. Yung one round mo, parang 15 minutes, parang 20 minutes. 11 o'clock ng gabi, humahabol ka pa sa rounds mo. But when you chant early in the morning, talagang solve ka sa rounds mo. Nasa right timing ka, nasa right consciousness. Again, this is not applicable to everyone. But just chant and pray hard. Si Krishna will make a way para ibigay sa'yo to. And if you have a chance and opportunity, grab it. You will be much more Krishna conscious if one is performing this sadhana. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj is doing this. Pwede namang hindi eh. Emperor na siya. Diba? Kaibigan niya si Krishna, pinsan niya si Krishna. Diba? Pwede namang hindi niya gawin eh. Pero he's still doing it. So, ano ba yung meron tayo? Diba? So, if one, very true. Mahirap mag-chant after work. Kasi, in the middle of the day, that is mode of passion. Very passionate na tayo. In the end of the day, we are in the mode of ignorance. Mas masarap matulog, mas masarap mag-swipe na lang sa phone. 1.5 hour ka na sa phone, magka-chant na ako. Titingin muna ako. So, maubos yung oras mo. In the morning, invest it for Krishna. 1.5 hour. Then, 22.5 hours for the rest of the body. 1.5 hour for Krishna. Not bad. Pero that will make a big and significant change sa consciousness natin. Yudhishthira is doing this, giving charity, and sabi ni Prabhupada dito, one who is not prepared to practice injunctions prescribed in the Sastra cannot be a good man simply by book knowledge. Even marami tayong alam sa buhay. If one cannot practice this. Parang sabi nga, so-called awaken. Pero hindi naman bumabangon. Diba? Puro awaken lang, stay awoke. Or so-called awaken. Pero tanghali naman gumigising. So we must win our first battle, which is waking up before the sunrise. And after nun, dire-diretso na yan. May first, trophy ka na may first medal ka na the rest of the day. Tuloy-tuloy na. Kasi nagsimula mo na maayos. And perform this sadhana. So, sobrang importante na ito. Sabi ni Sri Prabhupada, performing of this, and the cleanliness, and the doing the sadhana, will change one's trajectory in life, yung modes of life nila. To be in the mode of goodness, and much more, mode of spirituality, Krishna consciousness. If not, talagang there's no purificatory process daw, walang cleanliness, and just like rising really late. Diba? Tanghali na nagkakape ka pa lang. Wala ka na magagawa the rest of the day. So just like procrastination or just wasting time. So if one is really serious in his life, in his spiritual life, He will see yung details ng buong araw niya. And in a macro perspective, you will see your life na ganun yung ginagawa mo spiritually. And if one is neglecting this small detail in spiritual life, what more pa yung mga bigger details? Just like say you this dear. And we must take advantage if we are hearing this kind of wake-up call. It's a wake-up call and don't sleep anymore. Huwag ka nang bumalik ng 5 minutes pa. Diba? Ikilos mo na. And pag medyo nawawala tayo dun sa practice, sa path, again, have the association of devotees. Beg for them to wake us up. Just like Vidura. Because we are very fortunate if may taong kayang gumising sa atin. This great association of devotees. So, just beg for it. Last text natin for today. Maharaj Yudhishthir, full of anxieties, turned to Sanjay, who was sitting there, and said, "Oh, Sanjay, where is my uncle, who is old and blind?" So in separation, in his kindness, even si Yudhishthira Maharaj yun, he's looking for Dhritarashtra, yung previous emperor na gusto pumatay sa kanila. Very kind. Very kind to the old and disabled. So, thank you very much for attending. Tutuloy natin yung i-reply ni Sanjay bukas. Kasi very dear servant siya ni Dhritarashtra. Siya nga yung sa unang verse sa Bhagavad Gita. Sanjaya Uvacha, Dharma Setre, Kuruksetre. Siya yung nagkukwento kay Dhritarashtra ano nangyayari sa war. And siya rin nag-lament kasi nawala na yung Prabhu niya, yung master niya. So thank you very much for getting into this trouble of waking up early and being with us in this Srimad Bhagavatam study. May we continue this practice every day. It will be harder, pero just check nyo lang yung mga group chat nyo kasi I'll be your alarm para to attend the classes. Slowly but surely, start to wake up 7 o'clock. Then, adjust mo unti-unti hanggang magawa mo na yun. Yung iba nga, yung 4th batch, start sila magising na 9 o'clock for that class. So ngayon, level up, 7 o'clock na yung gising. Nandito na sila. Di ba? Yung mga realizations kasi nila to wake up early. So, unti-unti natin yan. And yes, after this, you can chant more, finish your rounds, and be Krishna conscious. Maraming salamat. I'll see you tomorrow for the Japa session and ating Srimad Bhagavatam study. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much, Prabhus and Matajis, for those who are here in the Zoom sa ating Facebook Live. Hare Krishna. Please be safe and be Krishna conscious. Yan. Sabi ni Naomi, in the movie, the Eat, Pray, Love, sa temple sa India, some visitors need to clean the temple. Yes. We always clean the temple. Kahit sino ka pa. Kahit mataas yung position mo. We are in the humble mood of cleaning Krishna's place. We are servant. Eternal servant. Some may nameplate, name tag. Those are practicing the mga mauna vows. But we're not practicing that. We must speak. That's a practice of Krishna conscious person. But speak of Krishna conscious activities and pastimes. Krishna's name. Hare Krishna, good morning, and yan. Chant and be happy. Share Prabhupada ki jai. Krantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Maharaj Yudhishthir ki jai. Mahatma Vidura ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Oh, glorious assembled devotees.